So hi, this is Nick Williams here with John Williams. Hi John.
Hi Nick.
How are you doing? John is the author of Screw Work Let's Play, how to do what you love and get paid for it, and we've been having another series of conversations after John came to give a talk for the Inspired Entrepreneur Evening a couple of months ago, and it went very well. So we're having a conversation now about business in a way, because we're just saying for many of us the default is a job.
Yeah.
And then you look at something like Dragon's Den or The Apprentice, and then the other role model is business, where you have to put a suit on and a tie, you have to do business plans, you have to go and raise capital through venture capitalists or go to the bank, you have to do forecasts, you have to do all the things that business people do. And that doesn't appeal to us at all, does it?
No. I mean, this is the thing. Like, people get terribly excited about startups, for instance. And I must admit, on the whole, the process of running a startup does sound deathly dull to me. The thought of having yet another conversation with someone about funding and how you get funding just horrifies me. So I appreciate some people love that, and if you've got a vision to make millions and millions, maybe that's your route, and that's fine. But I think actually the vast majority of people, lots of people like me, really don't want a job. I never wanted a job, and I haven't had one since 2003, thankfully. And they don't want the opposite of a business where it's very risky and you're chained to this thing and you need staff and premises and all that, because actually it can feel a bit like having a job. I remember working, I did a little bit of freelance consultancy to a startup doing mobile phone software. And I saw the guy who started it, and he had a very exciting business. It was doing very well, and I think he was enjoying it. But I just thought, he was still coming to an office 9 to 5 and then some, a lot more. And I thought, that's not what I want. That's like a job plus. So and so I think there's a lot of people like you and I who do want something different, a third way, as we call it.
So the message we're trying to get across here is that we think that we stand for a kind of a new way of looking at business, that business isn't really about business. You said something beautiful earlier before we started filming about kind of work being a channel for your own self-development. What was that? Yeah,
well, that's the other thing. It doesn't just have to be about making money. I mean, a great believer in making money for what you do. So, but also that's not enough. If I just wanted to make a lot of money, I would have climbed up the track towards partner as a consultant in the consultancy I was in, but that would have made me profoundly miserable. So I wanted primarily to do something creative and fulfilling that I really enjoyed doing, that felt, in my language, feels more like play than work. And my ultimate goal is where I'm at now, which is I do a lot of things that I would be doing even if I won the lottery. So if suddenly someone gave me £1 million, some art I'd never realised I had, get me a lot of money, then I would still be writing, talking about ideas, reading interesting books, blogging, fiddling around with the web.
It's when you're in your element, it's when you're in your flow. And I suppose my way of expressing it might be, you touched on the idea of work, and for me, work can be, a wonderful thing. I suppose one of the best ways I can express it, work can be a way where I kind of, our invisible soul, or whatever you want to call it, meets the world and becomes visible in the world. So our work is a shoreline where the invisible us becomes visible in the world, and then we just wrap a business around that so we can get paid for doing it. But I think both of us share this idea that work in itself can be, potentially a wonderful thing, a playful thing, a joyful thing, a creative thing, a way where we just keep discovering more of ourselves and what we're capable of. So it's kind of the work at the centre of it, and then you just wrap a business around it to make sure that you get income for doing it and find the people that want what you do.
Yeah, one of the things I talk about in the first chapter of Screw Let's Play is that plays, people think of it as a very insignificant thing, but that's how children grow. So they develop by playing, and their play is never the same one day as it was the previous day, because it's mapped the growing edge of their personal development. So they'll play in a slightly different way, and they're playing at the thing they want to learn next, and they're doing it purely because they're drawn to it, because they like it, or maybe they like the challenge, or it just feels good, all those combination of reasons. And that's how I think of work when it's really, when you've really got it right. you do it just because you're drawn to it, because you enjoy it. Now, sometimes you have to do it at time, you know, a schedule. You promise something, you have to do it. So sometimes it will still feel a little bit like work because you've committed to something. But on the whole, the things you're doing are things you would do almost for your own personal development anyway, because you like doing it.
Yeah. So work as play, work as joy, work as fulfilment. Some of you may know that quote from Khalil Gibran about your work is your love made visible. It's always been a fantastic idea.
Well, when I first heard that, I was mystified, and then I heard
because he's a mystic.
It's quite a while ago. It was probably still in the job back then. Yeah, true. But then I read David Dada, who I really like, who said that work is a channel for the fullest expression of yourself. And I can kind of get that. So it's the nice thing about when you run your own business like we do, and that business is completely under your control, is that you can keep evolving it, just like children do with play, naturally, to expand to include the next thing. So maybe you start getting interested in public speaking, you start getting interested in marketing, or you start getting, you know, I had a year where I read every marketing book I could find. I found them fascinating, and then I kind of absorbed it and done it, and now it's coming out. I almost can't stop regurgitating it to others. But the next subject is something different. And the other phrase David Dada uses, I think it's yes, a sort of a channel for giving your love to the world, which some people might find a bit strange, but I kind of get what that means. It's giving yourself to the world,
sharing the best of you with the world.
Because that's what I guess ultimately, you know, I say right at the beginning of the book, you know, life is too short to be wasting it in something you don't find fulfilling, because you really haven't got that
talent, time and energy to do that. And a mutual friend of ours, Barbara Winter, had this lovely expression. She said, you know, running your own business can be the best personal growth seminar on the planet. Yeah, that's right. And I also think it can be the best kind of university education, MBA classroom in the world as well, because you're constantly learning and growing, and you get paid for doing it. Yeah. So thank you. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. We've really just been trying to get across to you the idea that business doesn't have to be boring. No. You can run a business doing something you love and love the process of running a business as well. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So thank you for watching this. Hope you've enjoyed it, and see you again. Bye bye.